Sabi ni Manny Mante, nang hihikayat tayo ng foreign investors, then on the other hand, we want to instigate a war with China, who would invest sa bansa natin yan ng foreign 50 BBM, just a waste of taxpayers' money. Kaya naman, ano gusto ninyo? Mag-concert na lang siya. So look what the president has been concentrating on, WPS, instead of food. Pero in the last few surveys, ano yung mga iniisip ng mga tao? Ang rising costs of everything. Mga pagtataas ng presyo ng bilihin, nangunguna na presyo ng bigas, presyo ng pagkain. O sasabihin na naman, buong mundo naman tumataas ang presyo ng lahat. Yes, pero hindi po nakakahabol ang wages and salaries. Bukod pa dyan, kahit magtaas sila ng wages and salaries, because of its inflationary nature, tataas pa rin ang bilihin. So what needs to be done is bigatan yung value ng kinikita ng bawat mamamayan so that lumakas ang buying power. But apparently, hindi pa po nagagawa yan. I wonder if this will be a wake-up call to the president. Mr. President, all that you have been doing was paying a lot of attention to the WPS issue. You have spent some media words on this issue, but very little addressing the reasons why the supply and logistics system has not yet been addressed. Nasa na din po yung pagsasagot sa problema natin sa kuryente. Kasama na rin po problema natin sa tubig. So ano na? Parang ang pinaka-accomplishment. Ang sabi ng presidente, di ba, the other day, maraming na-accomplish, hindi pa nga nagdadalawang taon, pero ang dami na nating nagawa. Yun nga lang, hindi niya maalala kung ano yun. Today, our topic is on the frequently asked questions regarding the WPH. Ang dami nagsasabi, what is your comment on this? Hindi ako nagko-comment basta-basta because I prefer to get all the facts. And as much as possible also, I will avoid opinions, very strong opinions muna, until we're really clarified on what is going on there. Remember that most of the information that we are getting is either through the media, which may not exactly be telling us what's going on because we have no satellite pictures and so on, or very few, if ever there are any. Okay? So, anong nangyari dito? Well, according to the simplest narration comes from Al Jazeera, which says that recently tensions have escalated. This time it's in Scarborough. There were tensions that were happening also doon sa sa Ayungin. Okay, but this time, this most recent one is in Scarborough. Ngayon, what is the regime, the international law regime on Scarborough Shoal? Now, this was part of the arbitration agreement, but we have strong claims on Scarborough. But in 2012, in a standoff, the Philippines backed down and China moved in. So what does that mean? If China is holding that island, and yes, there are sovereignty issues on Scarborough because it's considered an island, Scarborough, what we have is a de jure occupation by China of the island. What is de jure? It means, well, de facto occupation by China of the island. Now, there's a difference between de facto and de jure. De jure by right, de facto by fact, reality. Sila yung may hawak. Pagka sila yung may hawak, presumptions will follow. Tell me kung kaya nyo pang makasunod. Ibig sabihin, the presumption is that since they hold the island, they occupy the island, that they do have a legal right to it. So what does the Philippines do in order to preserve its right? We continue to protest their occupation. Now remember that that the arbitration decision did not tackle a sovereignty issue. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin nun? Hindi pinag-usapan kung sino ang may-ari ng Scarborough. They avoided that. Kasi yung arbitration decision was only on maritime issues. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Kung ano yung regime in the waters. Now, there are two waters in Scarborough. May lagoon sa loob, tapos may dagat sa labas. Since it's a shoal, you can actually traverse over the island and go into the lagoon. So, because they have de facto occupation of Scarborough Shoal, the arbitration decision only talked about the maritime regime. Ang pinag-usapan is the waters around it. So, dun sa waters around it, traditional fishing ground. Okay? Yun po ang sinabi dun sa arbitration decision. Pag sinabing traditional fishing ground, tatlo nga yung kung naaalala ko ng tama, China, Philippines, and Vietnam. So, traditional fishing grounds yon. Ibig sabihin, none of the claimants there ay pwedeng magpaalis. Kasi hindi na to EEZ. Although it is covered under the EEZ and recognized as such by the UNCLOS, sa pagdating sa traditional fishing grounds, ibig sabihin, pwedeng i-exploit yung life o yung marine resources that are alive, fish, seaweed, and so on. But for the non-living na resources, ibang usapan yan. So, okay, so fishing, ibig sabihin, pwede tayo mag-fishing doon. Now, in looking at the different reports, walang nakalagay doon kung saan exactly yung issue, kung saan pumasok yung ating mga fishermen. Kung nandun sila sa traditional fishing grounds, then yung pagpapaalis ng China is, by our lights, incorrect. So, syempre, kung win-water cannon nila tayo, pwede tayo mag-water cannon back. Now, I have to remind everybody na ang water cannoning is not considered an act of aggression under international law. It is acceptable because it is considered a non-violent means of addressing particular issues and claims doon sa area. Thank you kay Lupang Hilira. Okay, so what does this mean? Kung nasa lagoon yung fishermen natin, tama, mapapaalis because they have de facto occupation of Scarborough. Remember, hindi settled ang ownership ng shoal. Okay? It was not tackled in the arbitration. However, since it is considered an island, then it can generate a territorial sea. Now, the de facto occupation is by China, and technically, yung 12 nautical miles doon is considered the territorial sea of Scarborough. Given the complicated regime there, in the arbitral decision, yung 12 nautical miles na yon, yun yung tinakda na traditional fishing grounds. Okay? So, ulitin natin. Yung traditional fishing grounds na yon, ibig sabihin, China can fish, the Philippines can fish. Walang paalisan dyan. Hindi pa pinag-uusapan yung regime of the artificial islands. Well, di pa natin because there are different opinions by international jurists about the regimes of artificial islands. We will discuss that later on or at another time kasi medyo komplikado po yun. But the artificial islands were created upon the occupation by China, upon the de facto occupation by China, and therefore, it complicates the issue. Suffice it to say, the Philippines, in filing its protests over the illegal occupation, maintains its standing to challenge. In other words, hindi pa mag-vest yung right ng China, basta ino-objectan pa natin so that we can raise it at an appropriate forum later on. However, the occupation by China means that they have certain presumptions working in their favor. Okay. Sabi ni Raymond, they have clear intention to enter the shoal. And remember, iba yung fishermen, kasi pwede nating sabihin na may good faith, they strayed, and so on. Pero iba pagka yung Coast Guard. Okay? Kasi government yan, and may agency yan, although it is a civilian vessel. So, nakikita nyo na how it isn't quite that easy to give an opinion on this, given the international law regime in the area. How is Scarborough now different from Ayungin? Now, Ayungin is also complicated. Ayungin Shoal itself is what we call a low tide elevation. Kapag high tide, lubog siya. And therefore, it's not an island. As a low tide elevation, it does not generate a territorial sea. Meaning, if we claim sovereignty, not on the shoal, but on the warship, then we cannot, the warship will not generate a territorial sea. Meaning, pwede pang lumapit ang kahit anong vessels of any nationality in the area. Okay? Because it is only the ship over which we have territorial jurisdiction, not on Ayungin itself. Ayungin being a low tide elevation, while it's not even considered a rock, kasi a rock can create, it can be called a sovereign territory, but a low tide elevation, hindi. So, ngayon, kung nasa loob tayo o nagtangka tayong pumasok sa lagoon, tayo po ang nag-violate ng arbitration. Now, kung nag-remain dun sa traditional fishing area, dun sa 12 nautical miles from Scarborough Shoal, then neither country can exclude anyone from that area. Ngayon, sinasabi minsan na nagkakamali minsan ng ilang mga opisyalis natin at sinasabing kiniklaim natin as EEZ. That's not true, not for Scarborough, because Scarborough nga, the waters around it have been designated as traditional fishing grounds kung ang ginagawa nating basis ay yung arbitration decision. Okay? Sabi ni Eddie Lim, we have to defend our EEZ. Yes, but it must be the EEZ. But when the arbitration decision designated the area as traditional fishing ground, it now complicates the claim of EEZ. Yes, it is within our exclusive economic zone, but the extraction and exploitation of resources there must bow to the decision wherein we recognize the traditional, that the Chinese vessels can also extract fish from that area. So it is no longer exclusive lang yung pag-extract ng living resources from that area. Okay? That's if we are standing by the arbitration decision. Ngayon, kung ibabasura natin yon, edi, sige, defend the EEZ. Sabi ni Ryan, nasa harap lang ni Rafi Tima ang dalawang water cannons ng PH Coast Guard na nakatakip ng white na tarapal. Habang nagpapalipad siya ng drone, bakit hindi ginamit ng PH Coast Guard? Ano yung display? I don't know what the strategy is of our Coast Guard in not responding, although it might have something to do with the pa-victim act that we have been doing. Might. Sabi ni Tony, territory yan sa China. Well, a rock or an island can generate a territorial sea. So yes, an island or a rock is territory and sovereignty can issue from there. Right? Now, in international law, occupation is a basis for a claim. So when we abandon Scarborough, China can now use the argument that we have abandoned our claim. I'm not saying it's final. What I'm saying is that they can use that argument. So understand this. What we have are two conflicting claims, the Philippine claim and the China claim. Our disadvantage, China is occupying it. And it is occupying through our own fault, which can be construed as abandonment kasi nag-pull out tayo during the standoff. Sabi ni Larry Lin, ayan, GMA, pinaliwanag na. Hindi paghamon o panggigipit ang water cannon. It's acceptable. Grabe kayo makabalita, masyado exagerado. Kung di naman parang nandadaya na talaga din tayo sa pabalik-balik tayo sa DRP Sierra Madre. Well, the Sierra Madre is in Ayungin, it's not in Scarborough, ha? Kung di naman parang nananadya na talaga tayo sa pabalik-balik, hindi na tayo babatuhin ng tubig. Nakakahinala na kasi bakit nga ba parang halos araw-araw may resupply kayo? Di ba parang nagsasayang kayo ng crudo tapos nanguulot tayo? Well, I also want to point out the difference under the Marcos administration. In 2016, after meeting with his Chinese counterparts or representatives, President Duterte managed to get Filipino fishermen back in Scarborough. So that was the great, kumbaga, achievement at the time. Kasi nga, dependent ang ating mga fisher folk on more and more fishing grounds, di ba? Para kumita naman sila. This is a source of livelihood. And of course, a means for them to feed their families. So our fishermen were, after something like 7 years or several years from the time of Pinoy, nakabalik ang ating mga fisher folk dyan. And then, of course, later on, nung nagkaroon ng issues na naman, sinuspend temporarily and then nag-usap sila. Now, what about this gentleman's agreement? What is the agreement? The agreement is the status quo. And the status quo basically was what is written in the arbitration decision, which is the fisher folk there in Scarborough. We're talking about Scarborough. If the gentleman's agreement is on Scarborough, then it is in accordance with the arbitration agreement. Now, if the gentleman's agreement pertains solely to Ayungin, then the status quo is simply that we hold Ayungin and we can go there and back and resupply and so on without being bothered, but at the same time, we will not expand our claim. Bakit? Our claim is sovereignty over Ayungin. But Ayungin is not capable of generating any sovereignty because it is a it's an LTE, low tide elevation. So, walang territory pagdating sa Ayungin. Ang territory lang na pinag-uusapan dyan or something that can generate a claim of sovereignty is the fact that we have a warship there. And since it is a gray ship, it symbolizes its agency of the country. The sovereignty, the sovereign. It is a representative of the sovereign. So, ang sovereignty, sole sovereignty claim natin dyan is BRP Sierra Madre. So, what is the status quo? You can resupply, you can do all of that, but don't expand the claims, because if you rebuild and then you build into the shoal, into Ayungin, then you are expanding your claim. So, bakit ngayon kino-consider ito na problematic? The status quo has been in place even since the time basta the Sierra Madre was there. So, walang nagbago actually. And in fact, Duterte was able to push our interests so far as to be able to allow fisher folk to return to Scarborough Shoal. So ano yung issue nila ngayon? Nothing. Really, nothing. And in fact, si Commodore Tariela admits that they crossed the red line when it comes to whatever activities our Coast Guard is doing in the disputed areas during this administration. Sila po, alam nila kung ano yung status quo, and they know that it has been observed since Duterte's time and even before that. And it is the first time that they are now, kumbaga, pushing beyond what had been previously agreed upon. It is not an agreement set in writing. In other words, it's not a treaty. It is not a convention which would entail more parties, because a treaty would require a ratification by our Senate. It's not an executive agreement, because an executive agreement would have to be in writing. So what is that? Kumbaga, it's a mere observation of what has been going on ever since, even before Duterte became president. Sabi ni Clark, sobrang malakas ang loob nila dahil hindi po tayo gumaganti. Ano bang ibig sabihin ninyo ng ganti? Okay, now, what are the responses? What are the acceptable responses? Ayon kay SAS, or experts si SAS. And we discussed naman this among ourselves, kung ano yung regimes dito. What can we do that is acceptable under international law? Water cannon nila tayo, water cannon din natin sila. O bakit hindi natin ginagawa? What else can we do? We can enter into diplomatic talks. Why? Because that is the language of international law, aside from French. Meaning, you have all of these rules, all of these conventions, these treaties, etc., that deal with aggressions, that deal with claims, that deal with everything like that. However, these are not, hindi po pareho ang international law sa domestic law. Dito kasi may police, may judge, may jurisdictions that we talk about. So, may lumabag ng batas ng Pilipinas, ihahabla mo, kung yung paglalabag niya ay criminal in nature, punta kayo sa hukuman, may magkakaroon ng hearing, may determination, may ikukulong. Okay? Can we do that in international law? There is no international police that will put a country or its representatives in jail unless they violate the universally acknowledged or recognized human rights. Iba pa yon. This is not a human rights issue. This is a claim over what amounts to property. Okay? A claim of rights. Sabi ni Ray, ang kailangan lang ng pinuno natin ay kausapin ng China. Tanongin ano ba problema? Di naman napakahirap gawin yan, gaya ni Tatay Diggs. Diplomasya naman talaga eh. Kumbaga, in international law, in international relations, everything is diplomacy. Okay? That's why hindi ganun kadali mag-declare ng mga to create aggressive acts and all that. The rule is never aggression. Aggression is punishable. Yan talaga kinikilala natin. So crimes against humanity, yung mga creating war or imposing war or attacking an act of aggression, these things are frowned upon by the international community. So that's why we set the standards. What is acceptable? Water cannons acceptable. Actual bang-bangs? No. Pagka meron tayong ginawa that is an actual, how do you call this? Thing that you would consider a weapon or armaments, automatically tayo na yung mali. Lalo-lalo na kung walang ginagawa that would merit such a response. Okay. Now, dun sa kaso ng US versus Nicaragua, nanalo ang Nicaragua dyan, but sinabi ng, the reason nanalo and nag-set ng doktrina ang kaso na yon is because the United States tried to use the doctrine of the preemptive self-defense. A preemptive strike in self-defense. Pwede ba yon? Sabi ng US, inuunahan lang nila. Kaya sila naging aggressive towards the regime in Nicaragua at the time. Kasi sabi nila, nagre-export ng arms, may gano'n. Sabi ng International Court of Justice, ICJ ito hindi ito ICC. ICJ deals with states or state-like bodies. Ang sabi ng ICJ, Hindi pwede. It is not acceptable. You cannot commit, preemptive strike is still considered an act of aggression, and therefore as though they had committed war against another sovereign state. Now, in international relations, all states are sovereign. Kaya iba eh. Hindi iyan yung katulad ng pwede mong dalhin dito sa loob, what we call municipal law, the law within a country, that hindi ito pareho ng batas sa international law. Because in international law, lahat kayo sovereign. Dito, within the country, there is only one sovereign, and that is the state. The state makes the decisions. Like the sovereign is the judge, the sovereign is the king. In international law, you are all sovereigns. And therefore, you need to work out agreements between yourselves for peaceful coexistence. Now, some of those agreements, thank you, Ma'am Thelms, have already been encoded in what we call conventions or treaties. So, some conventions are, of course, bigger than others. The Rome Statute is a convention, and that created the ICC. There's the Vienna Convention, which recognizes the immunity of diplomats in other countries because they are representatives of the sovereign, another sovereign. That's why yung mga diplomats dito, ambassadors, etc., they have immunity. Why do they have immunity? Because they represent another sovereign state. Okay? And that sovereign state, hindi sakop ng batas natin yung sovereign na yun. So, kung dalawa kayong hari kayo sa mga bansa ninyo. Pero pag nagharap-harap kayo at marami kayong hari, equals po lahat kayo. And there is no one above all of that to determine things against our will. Which is why when you go to the ICJ, kailangan mag-consent ka. Yeah, so each state, if gusto mong maghabla in the International Court of Justice, yung kalaban mo kailangan mag-agree to allow the ICJ to have jurisdiction over them. Hindi yan pwedeng ipilit. Unlike here, the jurisdiction of the court is determined by the territoriality of the so an RTC in Quezon City will decide cases that were committed in Quezon City, crimes that were committed, or at least elements of, or crimes of which at least one element was committed in Quezon City. Sabi ni Tony, bakit sabi sa UNCLOS 200 nautical miles, that's about 370 miles from shoreline, the EEZ. Kaya may international waters pa buffer between China and Philippines. Bakit nag-overlap ang China? Because wala naman tayong sinasabi na may EEZ ang China eh. Although they have an EEZ which is 200 nautical miles from their shoreline. Now, if you count it from Taiwan, marami siyang mababangga sa atin. Yeah. Hindi nila pwedeng tawiran yung territorial waters natin. Now, the reason China made the 9-dash line, 10-dash line, whatever dash line, was wala naman talagang basis yon. Hindi yun based sa UNCLOS, but they were basing it on something like a prior claim. So, hindi po may overlaps talaga lahat. Even walang yung mga designated na international waters, hindi rin yan pasok dun sa area natin, sa EEZ natin. Iba ang EEZ sa international waters. Walang dyan. Walang may claims doon. You cannot claim international waters. So I don't understand what you mean. Where exactly does it overlap? Hindi pwedeng mag-overlap ang international waters sa EEZ. But remember, the EEZ is not territorial water. Ibig sabihin, may freedom of navigation dyan. So kahit sabihin pa natin that mayat maya dumadaan ang mga barko na kung ano-anong flag carrier, it's because of the freedom of navigation, not because it is international waters. Sabi ni Destroyer, yung pagpasok sa Mapanas Northern Samar. Wait, it was very clear in the report na hindi sila pumasok sa territorial waters natin. At wala tayong doon. So what are you saying? Sa EEZ may freedom of navigation. Huwag niyo pong guluhin. All of the reports are very, very clear. Hindi po sila pumasok sa territorial waters natin. 12 nautical miles lang yon. Anong ibig sabihin ninyong sobra na kasi? Seryoso, Destroyer, what is your basis for saying sobra na sila if they are beyond our territorial waters? Even if they were in our EEZ, may freedom of navigation. Ang claim lang natin doon sa loob ng ating EEZ is the right to explore and exploit. Hindi po, hindi mediator, automatic mediator ang ambassador. What they do is represent China's interests here and they talk to the sovereign directly. Pero yung that doesn't mean walang tagapagsalita. Para mo nyo namang sinabing, may may ambassador naman tayo sa China, hindi na pwede magsalita sino ba ngayon? Si Sec Garafil. It works both ways. Bakit? So, what do you mean? Di ba? As long as the speaker represents the country, pwedeng magsalita. Sabi ni Francis, our sovereignty is within the archipelagic baselines which determines our territorial sea. Actually, even under the archipelagic doctrine, bawal nga silang pumasok sa sa inner seas, di ba? Dun sa mga sa internal waters natin. However, medyo ang US ibang plato sa atin dyan. Ito, pinadala ni SAS, pinost ito ni SAS, and this is important. Ang sabi ni SAS, sabi daw nung isa dun sa mga judges sa arbitration natin, on the tensions in the South China Sea, media should tune everything down. Kasi sabi niya, the South China Sea is a closed sea and therefore these states should have the first say on how to organize and manage the South China Sea. Ang ibig sabihin doon, yung mga hindi naman in the surrounding areas like Vietnam, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, and so on, yun yung may first say about how to manage it. Yung mga nasa labas, Japan, the US, and so on, you should not have a say in it. Sabi niya, media should tune everything down and the politicians should return to the international cooperation in with which international law is all about. Pwede ba dumaan? Dumaan? Yes. Sa EEZ natin ang China ship? Yes. In fact, merong one of the islands, I'm sorry, I forgot the name, that China is the sole claimant. So, halos lahat ng natin, ng mga island claims natin, kaya niyang daanan in order to get to the island, to the shoal in which sila yung sole claimant. Survey ang China ship sa EEZ. If the survey is part of exploitation, kasi depende yan sa interpretation. Kung ang survey is merely for purposes of mapping, I think they could be allowed. Kaya lang, syempre, dahil tayo lang ang pwedeng mag-explore and exploit, magtatanong ka, ano yung purpose ng survey na yan? Mahal magpa-survey eh. So, if there is no intention to exploit, bakit ka magsa-survey? So, it's a prelude usually to some kind of exploitation. So, pwede natin iprotesta o tanungin yun. Sabi ni Tony Amor, and he's correct, the US is not even a signatory to the UNCLOS. Why consult them? China is a signatory to the UNCLOS. Sabi ni Pederino, paano kung may na-aksidente mamatay sa pag-water cannon? Well, then you can sue China pero civil for damages. Sabi ni Ineb, yung Vietnam at India, dapat yun ang unang magreklamo. But also, context is everything. Yung mga ganitong skirmishes, ginagawa din naman ng ibang mga bansa. But ultimately, nag-uusap din sila. They managed to maintain their diplomatic as well as trade relations. While at the same time, setting, minsan-minsan, nagpapakita sila ng whatever. They use those skirmishes as a means, sometimes as a platform for their later talks. And sa akin, no matter what, in the end, mag-uusap pa rin tayo. Makikipag-usap pa rin tayo. Diba? Sabi ni Arman Sanggalang, suuli o protests na naman. So, wait a minute. What are you suggesting? What is your solution? Because these are the only legally acceptable actions. If you commit an act of aggression, tayo ang kawawa. Imagine if the entire, if the world turns its back on us, kaya mong pakainin yung mga tao dito? Are you seriously? What do you suggest? Kasi ang problema sa inyo, you are frustrated with a system that you do not understand. So, understand the system and understand why sovereign states deal differently in a different kind of legal regime. Okay? Sa madaling sabi, iba po ang usapan kapag international, iba po yung usapan dito. Dito, pwede yung vengeance is mine, I'll take you to court. Pwedeng ganyan. Pero yung pananagot dyan sa it comes in international cases. I'm telling you, it's very, very rare. Tingnan nyo ng Nicaragua, nanalo yan against the United States. Pero tunay ba silang nanalo? In the end, binuli din sila ng US. Meron na silang ruling from the International Court of Justice. Yung iba naman, kumpleto because nag-comply yung kalaban nila. US ang puso eh. Sabi ni Ma'am Christine, we do have our own water cannons. Tariela says we don't use, so we don't escalate. We do. Ay nako, we don't escalate. Pero yung mga instances na yung ating Coast Guard ang lumapit, huwag silang ganyan. Sabihin niya, we're not escalating, pero kita mo ang angas ng salita. Call a spade a spade. If that is the policy of this government, wag na silang magkunwari, aminin na lang nila para at least maliwanag sa atin na ito na ang polisiya ni BBM, ng BBM administration. Wag na silang magtago-tago, pero they'll unleash trolls on us, and every time we try to explain the regime of international law, may dadating lang na na troll at sasabihin, traidor. Buti sana kung naiintindihan mo itong konsepto na to. Sabi ni June R., pwede bang US ang mag-trigger ng MDT? O request muna tayo. Actually, if there is an act of aggression committed on us, pag tayo yung inattack. Ngayon, ang ginagawa ng US, ini-expand nila yung scope ng MDT. Kasi dati, the reason for the MDT was the Pacific Theater of War, of which we were one of the main players. Diba? Binalahura talaga tayo ng Japanese occupation dito eh. So the US, as our wartime ally at the time, we entered into that MDT post-war with that in mind, the Pacific Theater. Ngayon, ang sinasabi nila is kasama din daw ang South China Sea. Let's see if their Congress will agree because it's only the executive who says that. Sabi ni Pederino, ano pa, rate nyo sa kaisipan ng nagpipilit sa secret deal ni PRD. Ito yung ang dapat katakutan ng Kongreso. Pag si PRD ang pinatawag nila, he will be able to explain the regime, the international law regime there, and the things that he has done. Baka ang lumabas siya pa yung magaling talaga at mapahiya ang Kongreso dyan. Seriously, inviting PRD to their own forum is dangerous for Congress kasi papakitaan talaga sila. Bakit kung may US military base sa Clark, sa Kasubik, hindi yon nakapasok ang China sa Spratlys kasi bombahin sila sa US kung malagay sa delikado mga bases nila? No, that's not true. That's not necessarily true. Nung time na yon, China was not yet even capable na ganyan. And kailan umalis ang US military bases? There? Ano yung regime nun sa China? Ganito na ba sila ka-powerful? Ganito na ba sila kadami? In fact, yung pagpupunta nila, the Chinese fishing fleets are the biggest in the world. And hindi lang po sila dito nag-fishing. It's all over the world. Because ang dami nila and ang laki ng pangangailangan nila for fish in that country. So, huwag niyo i-compare. Yung time na yon, iba yung power ng China. The US was possibly the sole superpower at the time. But China now is at the position to challenge that superiority. Russia as well has now entered in after the 80s in glasnost and all that. Kasi tingin nyo, pareho pa rin yung sitwasyon. Hindi na po. Magkaiba. Mahirap i-compare ang dalawang time periods. Sabi ni Ma'am Emma at Ruth, that's why dapat magpayaman muna ang Pilipinas at palakasin ang ating military bago tayo makapag-girian sa China. Kung ako, muna natin. I-renegotiate natin yung paggamit ng mga military bases natin, di ba? Bakit ang Pakistan 2 billion a year ang renta sa kanila? Bakit tayo libre? Ang problema sa mga tao is pinagdududahan nila yung sinasabi ni SAS, but they don't have the capacity to read and understand the regimes here. Ako, nag-aral ako ng international law. May minor ako in international relations from the University of Minnesota. Well, hindi pa ako nagagawaran, but that's my course there. Hindi pa ako tapos. Okay? Ang course ko sa University of Minnesota is international relations. But I will still defer to SAS dahil mas natutukan niya itong body of knowledge na ito. Ngayon, kung sa tingin niyo mas magaling kayo at hindi tama ang sinasabi ni Ms. SAS, then come up with your arguments. Kasi para kayong pideya eh. Naninira lang kayo ng tao, imbis na salubungin ninyo yung argumento. Hindi naman po ganun. Sabi ni Raa, in case malalaman sa Senate hearing na until now may coke drinker pa rin, ano ang mangyayari doon sa taas? Mangyayari, given na ang pag-leak lang ng PIDEA docs ang saklaw ng hearing ni Bato, involving national security yun, di ba? No, it could tend to involve national security. Kasi nga, confidential document yon. But there are several levels of confidentiality. So, meron pang secret, top secret, and so on. Ngayon, meron din kasi issue of corruption. So, dapat actually kasama ang blue ribbon dyan eh. So, by the way, yung issue na yan ay diniscuss earlier this afternoon. Why don't you refer to that? Kasi parang may mga questions kayo, like anong mangyayari? What do you mean? Hindi po ako, wala po akong bolang kristal tungkol sa mga ganyan. But if your question is, what is the next step? And you have to identify who is going to make that next step. I cannot predict things that are not based on anything. Sabi ni Clark, kung magfo-focus po ba ang Pinas sa agricultural, either lupa or sa water, magiging sustainable po ba tayo even if di po tayo palaging nagdidepende sa importation? Sobrang yaman ng Pinas dyan. Well, I think it might be over-ambitious to think that we can feed all of us completely like 100%. Meron pa rin tayong imports. Pero dapat kasi umpisahan natin. Hindi tayo aabot ng self-sufficiency kung di natin uumpisahan. Kung puro pa rin tayo nagre-rely sa sa ating, what do you call this, sa ating imports. Papabayaan lang natin yung locals natin. Sayang kasi that's a form of local investments. Kung tayo ay ay lahat nahihikayat na mag-produce ng sariling pagkain, ng pagkain for local consumption, it will go a long way in bringing prices down. Sabi ni Manny Mante, nang hihikayat tayo ng foreign investors, then on the other hand, we want to instigate a war with China, who would invest sa bansa natin yan ng foreign fixed BBM, just a waste of taxpayers' money. Kaya naman, ano gusto ninyo? Mag-concert na lang siya. Things are becoming very interesting nga pala. Nakita niyo ba yung lumabas yung SWS survey that indicates yung survey that was conducted last December, if I'm not mistaken, December 8 to 11, 2023. Unusual because it does not include the president. Sabi dito sa the social weather survey of December 8 to 11, most recent quarterly survey finalized by SWS, found 73% satisfied and 12% dissatisfied with the performance of Vice President Sara Duterte, 56% satisfied and 12% dissatisfied with Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri, 45% satisfied with Speaker Martin Romualdez, and 45% satisfied with Chief Justice Alex Esmundo. Mas mataas yung kay Chief Justice because 13% lang ang dissatisfied sa kanya, and with Speaker Martin, 17% ang dissatisfied sa kanya. What does this mean? Hindi po nakalagay ang presidente. They excluded the findings of the president in this last survey ng SWS, which was conducted last December. Now, I've heard that the reason for the non-inclusion is because nakakahiya ang ratings. See, they don't even explain, or hindi ko pa nakikita kung ano yung explanation for why the president is not included. So, nakalagay lang satisfaction with the next top officials. Yun na lang ang ginawa nila. Next top officials, not with the top official. So, okay. So, ayun na nga They themselves are ashamed of it. So, parang nang lumalabas, ang title tuloy is not satisfaction with the top officials, but satisfaction with next top officials. And then they did not explain why the president is not included. What does this say? So look what the president has been concentrating on, WPS, instead of food. Pero in the last few surveys, ano yung mga iniisip ng mga tao? Ang rising costs of everything. Mga pagtataas ng presyo ng bilihin, nangunguna na presyo ng bigas, presyo ng pagkain. O sasabihin na naman, buong mundo naman tumataas ang presyo ng lahat. Yes, pero hindi po nakakahabol ang wages and salaries. Bukod pa dyan, kahit magtaas sila ng wages and salaries, because of its inflationary nature, tataas pa rin ang bilihin. So what needs to be done is bigatan yung value ng kinikita ng bawat mamamayan so that lumakas ang buying power. But apparently, hindi pa po nagagawa yan. I wonder if this will be a wake-up call to the president. Mr. President, all that you have been doing was paying a lot of attention to the WPS issue. You have spent some media words on this issue, but very little addressing the reasons why the supply and logistics system has not yet been addressed. Nasa na din po yung pagsasagot sa problema natin sa kuryente. Kasama na rin po problema natin sa tubig. So ano na? Parang ang pinaka-accomplishment. Ang sabi ng presidente, di ba, the other day, maraming na-accomplish, hindi pa nga nagdadalawang taon, pero ang dami na nating nagawa. Yun nga lang, hindi niya maalala kung ano yun. So he wasn't specific. And now, ang nakikita natin is, even on issues like the WPS, there's an inordinate amount of attention being paid to it. So much talk coming from our officials, but very little attention being paid to the cost of living. Or pagkakataon para makahabol sana ang buying power ng ating mga consumers. Nararamdaman niyo ba? Parang hindi, di ba? Maybe they should come along and give it a little push. Yeah. Something to think about in this nowadays, in the age where surveys are coming out, in the period when surveys are coming out now. Yeah. Ngayon na naglalabasan itong mga surveys, ngayon sila nagpapanik. And they're trying to distract us with things like, ayan, as congressional investigation into a gentleman's agreement. Seryoso? Anong mapapatong? How are they going to prove what the contents of those were? Anong pa parang hindi abogado tong mga to? Seryoso? If you haven't reduced it into writing, there will now be issues about what exactly that agreement was about, if it even exists. Unlike yung sa PIDEA leaks, the document is proof of its own existence. Oh my gosh. I swear, sabi ni Jing 07, thank you Jing 0702 for the rose. I swear talaga, they spend so much time on PR and very, very little on actually fixing what needs to be done, actually doing what needs to be done. Nasa na yung legal framework para maayos yung ating mga renewables. And isn't there a way for them to create a system? So pwede tayong na-encourage yung mga households to set up solar, wind, whatever renewable kind of energy that they can do. They're not doing it. Might be horrifying.